Welcome in. It is the weekend whistle on OJ in the morning with John McBeth. We are talking sport. Mr. McBeth, good morning.
I didn't want to talk sport this weekend, but okay, I will. Yeah.
You can't help yourself,
We're
can you?
we're getting into the pointy end of lots of competitions, aren't we? And, last weekend was, some sensational sport played last weekend, some great results for New Zealand and for teams that both you and I follow in rugby. So, it was a great weekend. I think more coming up this weekend, OJ.
Yeah, there really is. Let's go back a week, though, to Auckland FC. Now, I don't watch a lot of football, but I watched this game. It was magic and just such a great result for New Zealand football.
Stunning result. It wasn't the flashest of games or the experts would be out there or pundits who know so much about football would be saying, no, it wasn't a great game to watch. I felt it was a gripping game. The standard might have been a bit off, but that came from pressure. It became very rugged, didn't it, towards the end? It became one of the more physical games of football you'd ever see. But the great thing was that Auckland were able to just stay with it. And when they scored that superb, goal, which came off a defender and all that sort of thing, but it was in the back of the net and it counted. From then on, you just wondered about their attitude. Did they want to score again, or did they just want to prevent the opposition? And I all through the final gripping few minutes, I was thinking, oh, for goodness sake, don't go into your shell too much. And it was gripping because Sydney had so many shots on goal or chances towards the end. It was gripping. I loved it as a final. Yeah, really good stuff. And congratulations, second year in the competition. And even though they're an Auckland team, I still supported them.
Cameron Howison, what a lovely story that was. And he scored the goal.
Yeah.
So,
And he doesn't score many. And he's one of those who's got a, lovely sort of private, family story with, his children, and one in particular who requires a lot of care. The fact that, he could have sought opportunities overseas, but has stayed loyal, born or grew up in Auckland, but, doesn't play out of there or didn't until recently. And sort of, I think unsung hero is probably quite a good term for him. And, I don't know whether they were tears of joy or just relief or what on him and other players as well, but it was a, remarkable finish and, a fairy tale finish, I think, for him and that Auckland FC team.
We know that sport can sometimes be a cruel mistress, right? ACL injuries, and we see so many of these, not just in rugby, but in rugby league, in netball. ACL injuries, what are they?
Well, you're right. They have become really common, and if you're watching it either live or on TV, and you see a player land awkwardly or be hit in a tackle, from the front or the back, seeing the knee hyperextended or going sideways. You see a fast sidestep and suddenly a player goes down. The ACL is one of the couple of major ligaments around the knee. It's the anterior, which means it's sort of at the front, just tucked in behind the knee, but it keeps the knee stable. So you can have a partial tear, which sort of can recover, but for a complete tear for an athlete, it generally, in fact, 99 times out of 100 requires surgery. And then there's a posterior, obviously anterior and posterior cruciate ligament, which is located at the back of the knee. And when I see these ACL injuries, you're right, we see much more of them. And there was one famous one, OJ, back in 1989 at Athletic Park, All Blacks against Argentina, the most dynamic, fastest, best ever number 7 that had ever been seen in world rugby, Michael Jones, was famously carried off after injuring every ligament in his knee. His was a really humongous injury. And I recall being there and watching and then finding out afterwards that it was so bad they wondered whether he would ever play sport again. But he did recover, but it affected him, his speed and that sort of thing. But that was a famous ACL plus injury to the knee, but we're just seeing them all the time. And, they do mean slow down on a person's career for sometimes many months or a season.
All right, let's have a look at your crystal ball, your sporting crystal ball, John, because last week on the Weekend Whistle, I gave you 5 events that I wanted you to give a prediction for. You got all 5 right with the Crusaders, the Hurricanes, the Tactics, the Warriors, and Auckland FC all winning.
Yeah, I didn't think the Crusaders were going to. They were up against it, weren't they? But anyway, I'm pleased to fluke it at least once, OJ. That's good.
Let's see if you can back it up then, my friend. Number 1, the Crusaders do play the Hurricanes in the new stadium.
Oh, I'd love to be there. I know it's going to be packed. There's lots of people from here going down for that game. And the Crusaders, of course, is more at stake for them. If they win that, they get a home next round, don't they? A home qualifying final. They'll miss Jordan, of course, but I get the feeling that maybe the Crusaders will topple the Hurricanes this weekend. So much as it hurts me, I'm going to say that, the Crusaders could take this one.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. In fact, in order for the Crusaders to get a home semi, the Chiefs need to beat the Blues, and I'm sure Crusaders fans will be cheering on the Chiefs just this one time.
Most of the country will be, cheering on the Chiefs. Yeah, well, they'll take it to heart from last weekend. So, it's what you learn, what you keep it there, and it's that battle, they just love it, the Chiefs. I'll go for Chiefs, home advantage.
All right, Tactics against the Pulse in the ANZ Netball Premiership in Wellington.
Well, the Tactics last week served me well, didn't they? And the Pulse have drifted, and they haven't been the force of previous seasons, so I think it'll be a Tactics win there.
All right, and will a Kiwi be in the top 5 of the Chevrolet Detroit GP in the IndyCar Series this weekend? You've got 3 to choose from, so you should be fine.
I'll say yes.
Why wouldn't you? All right, and finally, the Warriors play the Panthers, top of the table clash on Sunday evening.
Now, is this after us? Is there a State of Origin game on? No. What's happening this weekend? No. I don't know. But anyway, the Panthers will be favoured because they're playing such good footy at the moment. But I think it's one of those clashes that the place will be sold out. The Warriors fans will make a big noise. I did the check, and I think the Panthers are slight favourites on whatever betting platform you're going to, and you would expect them to win, but bugger it, let's go for the Warriors.
We are due one, John. Absolutely due one.
Absolutely, you're quite right.
Mate, you enjoy your weekend sport this weekend.
Okay, mate. Thank you, OJ.
There we go, John McBeth. The Weekend Whistle. Will he make it 10 from 10? We'll find out on the show next week. In the meantime, that is the Weekend Whistle on OJ in the Morning.